Welcome back to another deep dive. So, we usually think solar power, we think sunshine, clear skies.
Right, the classic image.
Exactly. But what if rain, something we normally see as, well, a problem for solar panels, could actually help generate power?
Hmm.
Today, we're jumping into something pretty fascinating. Rain-powered solar innovation. We're digging into a paper from Black Knight Power that talks about this specifically in West Virginia.
Okay.
Our mission really is to pull out the key stuff about how this tech might be changing the game for renewables, especially where it, rains a fair bit. So let's get into it.
Yeah, it's quite something. They're essentially taking what seems like a weakness rain and finding an energy opportunity in it. The sources talk about these things called triboelectric nanogenerators, or
And we
TENGs.
sings. Okay.
Yeah, think about like static electricity, rubbing a balloon on your hair.
Uh-huh.
It's sort of that principle. These experimental panels, Soochow University is working on them, they use these TENs. Basically, the friction from raindrops hitting a special dual-layer polymer creates electricity.
Seriously, just the impact of the rain.
Just the impact. It means you could potentially get power, 247 sun when it's sunny, rain when it's, well, raining.
Wow. And it's not just about the power from the raindrop itself, is it? There's more to it.
No, that's right. They're also getting really clever with integrating water management. Hybrid rainwater harvesting systems.
Hybrid systems, okay. How does that work?
So the solar panels themselves, they double up as collection surfaces for the rainwater.
Ah, makes sense.
Then you have gutters channeling the water into storage tanks. And they use solar-powered pumps and filters to manage it.
So you get power and water.
Exactly. And get this, the source mentions trials yielding up to 444 liters of water from just 4 square meters of panels over 60 days.
444 liters. That's a lot from just a few panels. Talk about making the most of the hardware.
It really is. And thinking bigger picture, this tech seems almost tailor-made for a place like West Virginia.
How so? Because of the rainfall.
Yeah, partly. They get between, 245 and 1,300 millimeters annually, so plenty of water for the harvesting side. But also, the rain actually cools the panels.
Oh, interesting. Because heat makes them less efficient, right?
Exactly. Summer heat can really drag down performance. So rain-induced cooling is a definite plus. And crucially, even on cloudy days, and West Virginia has, over 150 a year.
Wow.
The panels don't just shut off. They can still convert that diffuse ambient light. You're maybe looking at 10 to 25% efficiency, but it's not zero. It's still working.
Okay, so for you listening, what does this actually mean, practically speaking?
Well, economically, it looks pretty good long term.
Yeah, the source talks about savings, right? Something like $98 to $155 a month on electricity bills.
That's the figure, yeah. With a payback period estimated between 8 and 14 years. It's an investment, sure, but it pays off.
And environmentally.
Significant impact there, too. A typical 10-kilowatt system, they estimate, cuts KOUs by nearly 25 tons every year. That's huge for reducing carbon footprints.
That really puts it in perspective.
Ew.
Is there, a real-world example of this working?
Yeah, definitely. Solar Hauler did an installation up in Nicholas County, West Virginia, on a hilltop residence.
Okay.
It was 54 panels, about 24.6 kilowatt capacity. And they paired it with roof upgrades, energy efficiency stuff, too.
And how did it perform?
Pretty impressively, generating around 68 kilowatts a day in spring, and it could hit up to 100 kilowatts a day in the summer.
Wow, even with those cloudy days factored in.
Exactly. It just shows how you can really cut down reliance on the grid, even in climates that aren't stereotypically solar-friendly.
Okay, but it can't all be easy, right? There must be challenges. The upfront cost has to be one.
Oh, absolutely. That's a big hurdle. We're talking somewhere between roughly $13,000 and $26,000 for a 5 to 10 kilowatt system. That's not insignificant.
Yeah, that's a chunk of change. And what about the weather itself? More extreme rain, maybe?
That's another valid point. Increased risk from severe weather, heavy precipitation, potentially damaging panels. Durability is key.
So how do we get past these hurdles? Make it more accessible?
Well, there's innovation happening. Things like self-cleaning panels using hydrophobic coatings, basically surfaces that make water just bead up and roll off, taking dirt with it. That helps with maintenance.
All right, keeps them efficient.
And crucially, there are incentives. That 30% federal tax credit, available until 2032. That makes a huge difference to the actual net cost for homeowners.
Okay, that's important. So bringing it all together then, what's the big takeaway for you listening?
I think it's that these rain-compatible systems really boost energy resilience. especially in places with lots of rain and clouds, like West Virginia.
Yeah, and the hybrid approach, getting both electricity and water, that's just smart resource use.
Definitely. And the case studies show it's viable, it works, and it offers a solid return on investment over time.
Makes a strong case. So maybe the final thought for you is this. Think about how these advances manage both power and water. What other things in nature, things we usually see as obstacles, might actually hold hidden potential if we just, look at them a bit differently.